limped through the lunar void, its hull creaking from the Serenity City's collapse. Mara sat in the co-pilot's seat, her hands still trembling from the Sentinel's wrath. The Overseer's final hiss, "Your brood rises," looping in her mind. Vega wrestled the controls, the craft's engines sputtering while Titan and Shade patched breaches with grim efficiency. Riley cradled the disruptor's core fragment, its faint glow casting shadows on her face. "This thing's still active," she said, voice low. "The Overseer's gone, but the signal's shifting southward." South. Vega glanced at the nav screen, the moon's near side receding as they arced toward its edge. Nothing's there but craters and, she stopped, eyes narrowing. The South Pole Shackleton Crater, NASA's water ice claims. Riley's head snapped up, her piercing eye glinting. Not ice, or not just ice, the fragment's frequency matches Ascendancy biotech dormant. But alive, the South Pole's where their new brood sleeps, waiting for its awakening. Mara's stomach sank, the dossier's cryptic notes clicking into place. Symbiotic resonance, lunar liaisons. "They've been planning this," she said, voice steel. "The Apollo meetings, the Helium-3, all to seed the moon's Serenity was a decoy. This is their endgame." Titan loomed over the screen, zooming in on Shackleton's shadowed rim. "Explains the water ice story, perfect cover for a stasis field. How many are we talking?" Riley tapped the fragment, its glow pulsing. "Dozens, hundreds, maybe a whole army." The craft shuddered, an alarm blaring, fuel critical. "We're not making Earth like this," Vega snapped. "South Pole's closer, 2 hours tops. We hit it, or we're dead in orbit." Shade twirled his knife, grim. "No ship, no backup, and a brood waking up sounds like a party." Mara nodded, resolve hardening. "We end it now, before they rise." "Riley, can you pinpoint the source?" Riley synced the fragment to the nav, a faint blip glowing deep within Shackleton. "They're buried under the ice." They descended, the Nearside's plains giving way to the moon's rugged southern edge. Shackleton Crater loomed, a black maw ringed by eternal shadow, its depths uncharted. The dropship skimmed the rim, landing hard on a frozen ledge, ice cracking beneath. Suits on, the team stepped out, the cold biting even through their gear. Riley's fragment pulsed faster, guiding them to a fissure in the ice. Too smooth, too deliberate. "This isn't natural," Titan muttered. Nod. The fissure plunged into a cavern, its walls glistening with what looked like ice but moved, shifting, breathing. At the center lay a vast stasis array, hundreds of pods, their surfaces frosted but alive. Reptilian forms coiled within a low hum emanated, growing louder as the fragment in Riley's hand flared. "They're waking," she warned, her disruptor jury-rigged but sparking. The Overseer's death triggered it. Remote activation. Our scan the pods, her pistol drawn. Then we shut it down hard. Shade planted EMP charges along the array's edges, while Titan and Vega rigged the shield generator to amplify Riley's disruptor. But the ice shuddered, cracked spider webbing, and a pod split open. A reptilian warrior emerged larger, its scales embedded with glowing circuits, eyes blazing red. "Intruders," it rasped, voice mechanical, as more pods hissed awake. Riley slammed the disruptor into the array's core, its frequency clashing with the brood's hum. The warriors faltered, but the cavern shook harder, ice parting to reveal a massive dormant machine beneath, its serpentine form dwarfing the Sentinel. "Mothership," Vega breathed as red eyes flickered on. Mara fired at the first warrior, dropping it, and turned to Riley. "Overloaded now!" The brood surged, and the lunar South Pole trembled with their awakening. Overloaded. Now. The cavern beneath Shackleton Crater pulsed with menace, the ice walls fracturing as the brood warriors staggered upright, their circuit-laced scales glinting in the dim light. Mara fired her plasma pistol, the bolt searing through a warrior's chest, but more pods cracked open, dozens, then scores, their red eyes igniting like a swarm of fireflies. Below, the mothership stirred, its serpentine bulk shifting, tendrils of alien tech unfurling from the ice. Riley's disruptor sparked against the stasis array, its whine barely denting the rising hum. "It's not enough," she shouted, desperation cracking her voice. Vega sprayed plasma fire, cutting down two warriors as they lunged, their claws slashing inches from her suit. "We're outnumbered. Focus on the big one." Titan roared, slamming his cannon into a warrior's skull, then pivoted, unloading a barrage at the mothership's emerging head. The shot sparked off its armor, doing little but drawing its attention. Red eyes locked on and a guttural roar shook the cavern, dislodging ice shards that rained like daggers. Shade darted through the chaos, planting his last EMP charges along the array's rim. Detonating. Cover. The EMPs flared, a wave of static frying half the pods, but the surviving warriors adapted, their movements syncing with the mothership's rhythm. Mara ducked a claw swipe, rolling to Riley's side. The disruptor, can it target the ship? Riley fumbled with the fragment, its glow now frantic. "If I boost it, maybe, need a power source." Titan pointed to the shield generator, its hum fading. "Take it, last juice we've got." Vega and Shade held the line, plasma and grenades barely slowing the brood's advance. As Titan hauled the generator to Riley, she ripped its core free, wiring it into the disruptor with trembling hands. The mothership rose fully, its head breaching the ice ceiling, towering over them, a biomechanical nightmare, its maw bristling with energy cannons. "Submit," it boomed, voice echoing the overseer's hiss, "or be erased." A beam lanced from its jaws, vaporizing a swath of ice, and nearly Titan who dove clear, cannon smoking. Riley slammed the disruptor into the array, the generator's power surging through a piercing tone erupted, clashing with the mothership's hum, and the warriors staggered, clutching their heads. The ship's cannons faltered, its tendrils thrashing wildly. "It's working," Riley yelled, but the array sparked, overloading. Mara grabbed her arm. "Hold it together, we're not done." She fired at the ship's exposed underbelly, plasma searing a gash, exposing writhing circuits. The blast rocking the cavern. The mothership shrieked, its red eyes dimming, but the brood rallied driven by a primal fury. Vega took a claw to the leg, collapsing with a curse, and Titan hauled her back, shieldless. "We can't take much more," he bellowed, Mara's gaze locked on the ship's core, a pulsing node within its chest. "There, hit that, and it's over." Riley cranked the disruptor's output, its casing cracking, and aimed it at the node. The frequency spiked, a sonic wave shattering ice and pods alike. The mothership convulsed, its node rupturing in a cascade of sparks, and the warriors dropped, lifeless. As if unplugged, the ship's bulk slumped, crashing into the cavern floor, its tendrils stilling. Silence fell, broken only by the team's ragged breathing and the drip of melting ice. Mara helped Vega up, her leg bloody but intact. Riley clutched the burned-out disruptor, its fragment dark. Brood's down, she panted, "Ship 2, but she trailed off, staring at the wreckage. Titan kicked a warrior's corpse, grim. "But what? They're dead." Mara shook her head, the overseer's Apollo lie in the brood scale weighing heavy. "They planned this for centuries. We've stopped the awakening, but not the Ascendancy." Shade pointed to the fissure. "Craft's our only way out. Let's move." The team limped back, the South Pole's shadows hiding their victory and its cost. The dropship groaned as it clawed its way out of Shackleton Crater, the South Pole's icy maw receding below. Mara leaned against the bulkhead, her suit streaked with frost and blood. Not hers, but Vega's, who slumped in a seat, her leg hastily bandaged with a torn sleeve. Titan piloted, his massive hands steady despite the craft's shuddering frame, while Shade patched a gash on his arm. Silent but alert, Riley sat cross-legged on the floor, the burned-out disruptor in her lap, its core fragment dark and lifeless. The mothership's collapse replayed in Mara's mind. Victory, yes, but hollow. We're leaking fuel, Titan rumbled, eyes on the flickering gauges. Barely enough to hit orbit, Earth's a stretch. Vega grimaced, shifting her leg. Better than staying down there with those things. Riley looked up, her piercing eyes shadowed. They're not done, the brood's dead. But the Ascendancy signal, it flickered before the disruptor fried. Something's still listening. Mara's jaw tightened, the overseer said they'd rise anew. Apollo wasn't just meetings, it was a blueprint. The craft lurched, a proximity alert blaring, Shade swiveled to the view screen, knife still in hand. Debris field, sentinel scraps from Serenity, maybe. Titan banked hard, dodging a chunk of twisted metal, but a smaller piece grazed the hull, sparking alarms. We're not dodging much more, he warned. Mara stared at the moon's near side, its crater stark against the black. Get us to the rim, highest point, we signal Earth from there. They climbed, the craft rattling, until they crested Shackleton's rim, landing on a frozen plateau bathed in eternal shadow. The team disembarked, suits hissing, the silence of the lunar vacuum pressing, and Riley rigged a makeshift antenna from the dropship's comms, her hand shaking from cold or exhaustion, maybe both. Boosting the distress call, she said, voice crackling through the comms. Resistance should pick it up, if they're still out there. Vega limped to Mara's side, leaning on a salvage strut. You think the elites knew about the South Pole, all that water ice hype? Mara nodded, the Overseer's Apollo reveal burning fresh. They didn't just know, they funded it. Helium-3 was the bait, but the brood was the payoff. A sleeper army, right under our noses. Titan grunted, scanning the horizon with his cannon. And we woke it early, screwed their timeline. The antenna pulsed, a faint signal cutting through lunar static. Riley's rig beeped, a response. Got it, Montana base, they're sending a ship. ETA 6 hours, Shade sheath his knife grim. 6 hours up, here's a lifetime. Mara scanned the ice, the mothership's echoes lingering in her gut. We hold no choice. A low rumble shook the plateau. Not the craft, not the windless void, but the ground itself. Cracks splintered the ice and Riley's fragment flared. A weak but undeniable glow. It's back, she whispered, as shapes moved beneath the surface. Smaller, sleeker than the brood drones burrowing up. Scavengers, Titan growled, raising his cannon. Protected in the nest, Mara drew her pistol, the team forming a tight circle. 6 hours, she said, voice steel. We fight for every minute. The ice erupted, and the Nearside Shadows came alive once more. The ice beneath Shackleton's rim shattered, scavenger drones bursting forth. Sleek, reptilian machines with glowing red eyes and razor claws, smaller than the brood but relentless. Mara fired her plasma pistol, the bolt searing through one's chest, but 3 more skittered up, their movements a blur in the lunar gloom. Titan roared, his cannon blasting a swath of ice and drones alike, while Shade danced through the chaos, knife-slashing circuits. Vega, propped against the dropship, sprayed plasma with one hand, her injured leg buckling. 6 hours my ass, she shouted, grimacing. Riley crouched by the antenna, shielding it as she amped the signal, the fragment's faint glow pulsing in her grip. They're jamming us. Ascendancy still got teeth. A drone lunged at her, but Mara tackled it mid-air, slamming it into the ice and firing point blank. The team tightened their circle, the plateau a battlefield of cracked ice and sparking wrecks. The drone's hum synced with the fragment, a chilling echo of the mothership's death throes. They're linked, Riley yelled, protecting something below. Mara's mind raced, the Apollo blueprint, the brood confirmed the elite's betrayal. Another hive she called, dodging a claw swipe. Titan crushed a drone underfoot. Grim, the ice rumbled again, deeper, and a fissure split the plateau, revealing a glinting structure beneath. A compact spire, its bioluminescent veins pulsing like the Serenity Dome. That's it, Riley said, scrambling to her feet. A backup core commanding these things. The drones swarmed thicker, drawn to the spire's pulse, their claws tearing at the team's suits. Vega's rifle clicked empty, and she switched to a salvage strut, swinging it like a club. We're thinning, can't hold forever. Titan took a hit, his cannon arm sparking, but he fired anyway, blasting a drone off shade. Mara grabbed Riley's arm. The fragment, can it overload that core? Riley nodded, frantic. If I get close, boost it with the antenna's power. They fought their way to the fissure's edge, Titan in shade carving a path, Vega hobbling behind. Drones clawed at the antenna, but Riley ripped its core free, wiring it to the fragment with trembling hands. Cover me, she cried, diving into the fissure. Mara followed, pistol blazing, as the spire loomed, a smaller echo of the mothership's heart, its tendrils stirring. The drones converged, a wall of red eyes, but Titan's last cannon shot cleared a gap. Riley slammed the fragment into the spire's base. The antenna's power surging through a high-pitched whine erupted, the spire's veins bursting, and the drones froze, then collapsed, their lights winking out. The ice shook, the spire imploding in a cascade of sparks dragging the fissure shut. Silence fell, the Nearside Shadows still once more. Mara hauled Riley up, both gasping through cracked visors. Did it? Riley panted, the fragment dark in her hand. The team regrouped, battered but alive, the plateau a graveyard of ice and metal. Vega slumped against Titan, smirking despite the pain. 5 hours left, cakewalk now. Shade sheathed his knife, scanning the horizon. Unless more wake up. Mara stared at the moon-scarred surface, the South Pole's secrets buried again. They won't, she said, voice hard. Not today. Hours later, a resistance ship breached the lunar sky, its lights cutting through the dark. The team boarded, the near side receding below. A battlefield won, but a war unfinished. Riley clutched the dead fragment, her eye fierced. Earth's elites started this, we end it. Next time, on our terms. Mara nodded, the Apollo lie a fire in her chest. Next time, she echoed, as the moon faded to a pale dot, its shadows hiding the Ascendancy's last whisper.